Mr. Asante, how you doing, man?
Oh, I am doing a-okay fine. That's the best I give you today. A-okay fine.
That's always
How you
good. I
doing,
mean,
bro?
we'll take that, man. I'm doing good as well. We were talking almost for a few hours there throughout the day today, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're here now. Brand new episode of Gamers Playground. Last week we were off as we're embarking on new schedules, work schedules, trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure stuff
Mm-hmm.
out. But glad to be here with you. Okay, you know how we always do whenever we start one of these episodes. We come in and we kind of tackle a topic right away. I want to piggyback off a topic that you started on Saturday, and you didn't get a real chance to get deep in the weeds because obviously, as the only, I would say, true VR gamer that was part of that
Yeah,
crew, it's kind of hard to kind of talk about VR games when other people aren't really
I feel
invested
you.
in the
I
ecosystem.
feel you.
But
Yes, yes,
as
yes,
a
yes.
PSVR 2 owner, I can tell you that I am kind of invested
Oh,
in it. I look forward to
fantastic.
stuff. So let's talk about that Batman for a little bit, okay? Let's talk about
Sir,
that
you
Batman.
excite me with this Batman talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
didn't even
Yeah,
know this was coming. This is awesome. All
yes,
right. All
yes.
right. What do you want
And
to
the
know?
reason, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I want to talk about it and the reason that I'm excited about it is because from all the reviews that I've seen, from all the people raving about it, okay, this is a true successor and a worthy uh, uh, um, a worthy addition to the Arkham
Mm-hmm.
series from what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full-blown game, 10-hour Batman
Absolutely it
experience,
is.
and if
Yep.
you are a fan of the Arkham universe like we are in the
Mm-hmm.
Arkham franchise, this is a must play eventually. Talk to me about it.
Sir, so okay, because you say so, let's put up some gameplay footage while we have a quick chat about the situation. So, and this tends to be the problem with VR. I'm sorry, all watching viewers. Shout out to you guys, by the way. I'm sorry of all you watching viewers. It will not be as cinematic as you're used to because no VR footage ever is. You move your neck a little way, you move
Yeah,
it, it gets very jarry. So that's the problem with showing
hard
it.
to
So,
capture.
yeah, it's hard to capture. It is what it is. But needless to say, I appreciate you referencing what I brought up because I feel like it begs the question: if this game can't bring more gamers to VR, then what can? Because to me, this game does the impossible. It captures the Arkham vision in a real way in VR, like to like exounding success, like just ridiculously well executed. Okay, and why I say this is because if you recall the Arkham series, if you have any reverence for it at all, you've played it or you remember it fondly in your mind, you know certain tropes that come with that Arkham series. The combat being very heavy, the
Yeah.
traversal being very heavy, right? And translating that to VR, if you're a VR fan, you know that a lot of the big criticism of VR is, oh, you didn't you don't translate it correctly, right? Oh, it's got to be exactly the way it is that a normal person plays the game. And if you're a VR gamer, you quickly learn that that equals throwing up all over the place because
Yeah.
there are certain things that you just can't do when the screen is this on your face
Yeah.
and the height and the scale, and you're tricking your brain into thinking that what you're seeing is real, right? And depending on the game graphics, it could feel very real, right? So in other words, you can watch a video on YouTube of people going down a roller coaster all day. You watch that in VR, you are hurling chunks in seconds. Like
Yep.
it's over for you, right? So translating that experience to a VR setting and doing it like in a satisfying, like yes kind of way,
It's a challenge.
very difficult.
Yeah.
These dudes pulled it off like so well.
Who made this? Because that's the thing. I don't know who made this game. Like, who was it?
There's
Who
a
were the,
the developers called Camouflage, and
okay.
they are a VR developer. Like they have other VR games under their belt. They are a VR developer. So obviously this wasn't a out of nowhere. Clearly WB like saw their stuff, thought their stuff was good, and then hired them to do this
Oh, they
work.
made
And
the Iron
man,
Man game.
they
That
did it.
Iron Man VR game, right?
There you go, which is another one that was lauded for very much playing it well. This one takes that immersion to the next level. It is very good, and I won't spoil anything. Like if you're looking for an Arkham game, this is the most Arkham of Arkham games. You will love it. It's more Arkham than say Arkham City. Like it's more Arkham than Arkham Knight. It's far Arkham Asylum more, right? It's that first
gotcha. Okay.
one.
That it was
Yeah.
like it's very constructed in a corridor setting that you're
Sometimes claustrophobic.
kind of.
Yes, exactly. But then every once in a while it opens up to a larger setting. But remember, this is a mobile chipset, right? Which I kind of hold it against it a little bit, but it not ruins, but it's detrimental to it for me in an aspect. But for you, the normal end user, you'll still love this game. What I mean by that is, like, the first thing I said when I saw this was, oh man, the textures are terrible. Like you can, because it gets so close, right? The texture popping, you can literally zoom in with your eyeballs and look at it, and it's
So you kind of
it's
wish
a missed opportunity.
you kind of wish that this was more on PSVR 2 than on the Quest.
Not even PSVR 2. I wish they released this on Steam VR.
Gotcha,
and
yeah.
let anybody who can stream it. That way you're using your graphics card to handle it and not a mobile processor. But the game itself, wow, it hit such a high note. Like just looking small, just a little bit of the gameplay footage. You're using your grappling hook. You're getting that zoom feel when you're using your grappling hook. You're using batarangs to hit specific targets, and that's even before you start the battle. Because when you're starting to battle, now you're literally doing the Arkham combat, where you're zooming from character to character, hitting them, blocking them. I'm actually trying to zoom in to see if I can get some fights here. Here we go. It's about to get there. But like, you're really doing some awesome traversal kind of combat. This is where the game opens up. You feel like Batman when you're looking down. Your silhouette is Batman. The horns are out. It's real cool. It's very cool.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because on the original PSVR, I tried out that Batman Arkham kind of tech demo thing, and I loved it, dude. And it was kind of so surreal to look down at your hands and you can see the gauntlets and stuff.
See, now that one came to PC VR as well, and when you play it there, you're just like, holy crap, it's amazing.
So
right. So here's the combat. Right, you're literally zooming in, punching them out, and then you see the notifications on your screen. Like some punches have to be left, some punches have to be right, and then while you're punching, you're beating up on one guy, a guy could be behind you, and you see that blue notification come up. Meaning if you do it at the right time, you parry him, and now he's the one you're fighting. It's cool. Very well executed. There are some parts where there are perches, and you just go zip line to the perch, and you can go upside down and choke a dude. It's very Arkham, Arkham.
So since I do love the Arkham franchise so much, it's very near and dear to me. It's one of my favorite all-time video game universes that they've ever made, right? And if you think about it, because of Arkham, we have things like Spider-Man now, where they set
of course, that right? Combat.
So let me ask you this. In terms, if you know the answers to this, in terms of when this takes place in the Arkham timeline, do you know that, or have you?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm still early days. Like these kind of games, I like to sip like a fine wine.
Yes, I understand.
I don't want to blaze through it. There are many people who are doing great reviews. I'm sure you'll get that from them. I sip this like a fine wine. Obviously, it's not the latest in the storyline because we hear how things are going. It seems like it's a prequel, right? I just don't know exactly where in the timeline it's at. Oh, I see Mr. MJ Dark in the chat. What's going on, MJ? Hope all as well. He says it's a prequel to Origins.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yes,
because I actually liked Origins. I thought Origins was great.
I love Origins too. I think that's very underrated. Very underrated.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
I actually here's a little hot take. I actually think that the boss fights in Origins are better
than any of the others in the Arkham series, sir. Especially I got one word: Slade.
Yes.
Deathstroke, Slade. Oh
with
man,
the sword,
so
when
good.
you're like dodging it, dude, with the gauntlets.
It's awesome. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So here's another question for you. In seeing how Rocksteady, like we know, kind of like the the initiative to make gas games just like everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
WB tasked them with making the Suicide Squad, where that
Mm-hmm.
took place in the Arkham verse. Supposedly, that's at least what they made it
Yeah.
seem like, and what they kind of said. It's nice to know that this can be a palate cleanser to that, because
Mm.
this, I beat that game. I played about 50 hours of
Yeah, me too.
Suicide
I beat
Squad.
it. Yeah.
I
And,
beat
and
it.
and shout out to BT Maverick. He's right. It is an awesome Christmas game. It's kind of like Die Hard is an
Oh,
awesome
nice.
Christmas movie.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. It's an awesome Christmas game. Yeah.
Oh, so with that said, it's nice that there is a palate cleanser to kind of erase that memory a little bit, because I like, even though that story was very very, I guess you can say, convoluted in what it was trying to do with the, I won't spoil it, but it does have
Mm.
factors that affect the Arkham verse, right?
Yeah, of course, of
This
course.
is
Yeah.
nice that this looks like it's something, a return to form of what we
This is
needed.
definitely a return to form.
You
Now
know?
check out the combat. Check out the combat here. This is what I was talking about. Like, just like you remember it. You're standing on a perch. You're
Yeah.
looking down. These guys, like, and obviously they have bullets. So if they get you, you're done. You can drop a smoke pellet. But you're like, choking fools out, and you're getting behind them. You're in crates. It's the whole thing. It's the
Yeah,
whole thing.
that's
Look,
cool.
now they caught you. Now you gotta use the jump kick on them.
Oh,
Like
yeah, the kick,
it's
there
awesome.
it is. So
It's awesome. It's really
so
good.
with the question that you asked me, right,
Mm-hmm.
is this the game to bring the hardcore masses over, right? Because that's what
Yep,
it's all
this is
about,
my
right?
question. This is my
I-
question.
I
And you know
think-
why I asked this question? I asked this question because I feel like they sacrificed this game's fidelity to make it easier to entry
Yeah.
for the masses to be able to jump on board, right? So this is not one that's in Steam VR that you got to learn how to stream it to your screen, and in so doing, keeping it super fidelity. No, this is a turnkey, buy it in the App Store, hit play, and you're playing the game right on your head. You could be in your backyard and
Yeah.
and doing it. Was the sacrifice worth it? Will people play this? What do you think?
That's okay. So I think that it's very smart for Meta as a company to really understand that if they want to bring in gamers to that ecosystem, they need to offer them experiences that are exclusive. And I think that we always talk about this, right? We talk about this almost on a daily basis. When do exclusives make sense? When do they not? Et cetera, et cetera. I can tell you that for a hardcore gamer, and we all know this, I would say that the majority of us, all it takes is one or two killer IPs to get us kind of interested. So what I think that they need to do with this is build on this momentum that this could have. And what do I mean by that? You release a Batman. I think that later on in the year they're gonna have Metro. And I think that if they keep on a constant flow of these high profile VR games, I think that eventually they can get some people to bite. Because again, a game set in the Arkham verse, I don't care who you are. If you love those games, this has you interested. Like, you're looking. I'm not saying you bit, but you're looking and you're like, really? Okay, so this is an Arkham game. Let's see how
And
this
it's
plays
good
out.
too. Like
Yeah.
by all accounts, it is chef's kiss. It's what you want. The story is good, the gameplay is good, the atmosphere is good. It is good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, even MJ Dark in the chat is saying he purchased the MetaQuest 3 exclusively for Batman, Alien, and Metro 2033.
There you
So
go.
they
Yeah.
got some stuff cooking that's getting the hardcore kind of demographic there. So,
Mhm.
hey, for the sake of the medium, and I know you're such a fan of it, I do hope that stuff like this does engage more players, because when I have used the PSVR 2, I do feel like I see the potential there. It's just that it is such a tough thing to ask someone to put a headset on. And I know that sounds dumb, but it
No, it
really
doesn't.
is an investment,
Yep.
right? It really
Yep.
is
It
kind
takes
of
some
like
time.
it-
It's a barrier. It's a barrier to entry.
right.
It's not that simple.
Exactly.
People not as comfortable as you make it. It will never be as comfortable to the masses. Some people will have a harder time dealing with it than other people will. I completely understood. It's always, and it's hard to show off, right? Hard to show, like, and the person who recorded this footage, like, you know, did the best they could. Usually it's herky-jerky, very jittery. Look, you know, it never shows it off in the best light possible.
Right.
But it is a transcendent experience.
It's one of those things that when you are inside experiencing it, you understand. Now,
that's right.
It might be for you, it might not. Because at first when I started using this PSVR thing, remember I was telling you, okay, I'm getting dizzy, man. Like I've
you gotta get your, they call it VR legs. You gotta get your VR legs under you. Once you're a little used to it, then you're okay.
I can go for about an hour. And then I gotta just take it off.
Then I gotta take a break. Yep.
Yeah.
This is another reason I sip these like a fine wine. I don't want to push myself to the point where I feel queasy, because you can.
Yeah.
Right? The better it looks, the more you're tricking your brain. So a quick bit of tech. Your eyes need to see over 80 frames per second per eye in order to fully convince you that it's good, right?
Yeah.
In order to fully convince you that wherever you are is where you are. If it doesn't, it makes your brain notices the fakeness of it all, and then it starts making you not feel so good in the tummy. You know what I mean? So so that's why VR specifically, you want to always experience the biggest, baddest, most powerful version of it, because that keeps your frame rates high.
There's two games that I feel that if they did right, they can not only sell headsets, move units, but sell DLC and sell peripherals. And those two games, of course, are Call of Duty and Fortnite. If they can figure out, and Kate, just hear me out.
They've done. Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that there's an official Call of Duty.
Not
VR
officially,
game.
Not officially. When I'm saying that, I'm thinking of the process of, because the official game is easy to make relatively. It's just, will you hurl if you're expected to run at that speed while you're gunning? But I will say, with Pavlov and a few other games that are out there, the idea of that multiplayer shooter, that divide has been traversed. And I'm going to tell you, there are games that have mods that make you look like Spartans, that make you look like you're in Call of Duty.
I'm going to tell you why I'm saying. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I have had acquaintances that have told me, if a Call of Duty game comes out for that VR stuff, I'll play it.
That's what I'll play.
They and like they've even seen the peripherals, you know, for Pavlov and stuff, that it's a VR gun. But if they had like an official Call of Duty branded one and all that, I think that an IP like that, it can be powerful for this.
Sure, but you know what I 100% agree with you in? 100%. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, and that is Fortnite. Because Fortnite is, if anyone has ever read Ready Player or watched Ready Player One or read Snow Crash or any of that vision of the future where everyone lives in this digital world, Fortnite comes the closest on flat screens.
Yeah.
Like, it comes the closest on flat screens. And if you turn that thing into a proper VR game where everyone lives like they're doing now, oh yeah, like that game, you'll even get me to play that thing at that point. Like, and I've been fighting the good fight on Fortnite for years.
Is that I do think that like Kirby Louise brings up a good point, that he says that a counterpoint, Vita had exclusive COD and that didn't do anything. Understood. I'm not saying that you put Call of Duty
but
on
the counterpoint to the counterpoint is that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I don't think the pedigree of COD had risen that high yet when they did that on the Vita.
Yeah, and I do think, though, because again, just very anecdotal what I've been told, but I do think if they were to do a bombastic Call of Duty experience with a single player and then a multiplayer mode, and then you have a Warzone like mode for the VR space, I think that will pick up, because I'm telling you, Call of Duty players, man, like I can just imagine how excited they would be to like really feel like they're in the battlefield.
The only pushback I may give you on that, and this is me just thinking as a person who plays a lot of VR games, the weird thing about it is, right, Call of Duty players are considered casuals.
Sure.
In the normal gaming parlance, right?
Sure.
But people who play Pavlov and those shooters in VR are considered hardcore, because it takes a lot of skill and a lot of fortitude lunch keeping down fortitude in order to play at that
Yeah,
high level.
yeah.
So translating a casual COD player into a hardcore player of the same type in VR might be a bit difficult. It may not translate
Good.
as easily,
No,
you know what
I
I mean?
get that,
But
and
it's worth the work, I think. I do agree
I
that I
think
think it's
so.
worth the work.
I think that what is missing is the power of the IP to bring the masses, because
Sure,
that
sure.
IP
Okay.
will move. You would
Mm.
think it can move units because of just
Hey,
the name.
we'll see how many units it'll move in the Game Pass direction soon
Yeah,
enough.
exactly. All right, okay. Well, I look forward to this hopefully being ported on PC or PSVR too.
Yeah, me too, bro. I will double dip if this thing comes to PC VR because I believe the textures and all that benefit from a more
Yeah.
powerful system. This is right now basically an Android phone running all
Yeah,
this stuff.
I can't justify just buying, the Meta just for this experience, even
Mm,
though I've bought other things for one game or two games, but it's not enough for me. I would need
mm.
more stuff like this. But
Yep.
what's this called? But yeah, so let me
There's about
formally.
there's about like 10 games I can like forever, like forever. There's not like consistent new releases we shall see.
Yeah,
But if you were to say, you know what, I want a PC VR headset, what are the 10 AAA games? I could find you 10 AAA games that
sure.
you would go, yes, this is it, you know. But yeah.
Sure, sure. But at that point, like I can use the PSVR 2 headset on my PC by buying a $60 adapter. You see what I'm saying? So
Which is also a good option. I would love for
yeah,
you to try that because I want to know
yeah.
how that works.
I have to jump on that because I
Mm.
stopped trying to get I
Trying to
stopped trying to
find
buy.
one.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I think that they're readily available now. So I'm probably gonna
Cool.
get that
Cool.
soon.
Yeah.
What's this up? So okay, let me transition and welcome everyone officially to episode 53 of the Gamers Playground. 53 episodes in. This is an episode that we are simply calling True Ownership. Okay,
Mm.
that's what we're calling the episode. And why did that title come about? And I think not many are really talking about this. I haven't seen anyone talking about this, Kane. If whenever you can, pull up that article for us whenever you get a chance. But over the past week, there's been
Hmm.
conversation of the video game history foundation kind of being rejected by the
Hmm.
U.S. copyright, enforcers, where pretty much our video game preservation laws are not working to our favor. I'll
Yep.
just put it like that. So,
Yep.
what is the video game history foundation? Real fast, they have a simple mission, right? It's their mission. They're basically a non-profit organization, and their dedication is to preserving a video game history and teaching, using it as a teaching resource, and also
Hmm.
what they call celebrating it, right? How do they celebrate it? By making documentaries, by showing where we've been in gaming,
Yep.
the pretty much the history. Okay, and they've worked on several projects. Well, one of the projects that they worked on that I found out about them was the Game Informer project, which
Oh yeah.
what
Hmm.
they did was they worked with Game Informer to help document and preserve decades of material
Hmm.
all the way back to 1991. They were able to gather and preserve over 25 terabytes of historical information. Okay, and that's that evergreen content that, yeah, realistically, is anybody looking up a magazine from 1992 to look up Mortal Kombat when it was coming to SNES? No, but it's good that we should have it somewhere stored for
Hey
those
man,
that do want to see
one
that
day
stuff.
your children, when we're all dead and gone, some child will want to go back and see what that SNES version. They'll want to hear that debate about like punching somebody with and dust comes out versus punching somebody and blood comes out. Right? That
Exactly.
debate wants to be
Yeah.
rekindled.
Look, and the
So
thing is
this
that
preserves that. You know.
these older like debates and these older kind of conversations and pieces
Hmm.
really show the gamers of today how lucky they are to
Hmm.
kind of have all the things that they do, because we grew up in it. We grew up in the world where Nintendo said, hey, you know what, you can't have blood in our ecosystem. And then all
Hmm.
of a sudden, because of Sega pushing them, they're like, okay, Mortal Kombat 2 is going to have blood, because they felt those sales tanked for the SNES version. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that they do, Kay, is that they actually recover and restore. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
they're able, like they've been able to help Bethesda, SNK, Capcom, Disney, a bunch of companies actually restore and recover code and games that they
Mm-hmm.
thought were lost to time, and they've been able to help them, these companies, right? And then the last part is that they're advocates for preservation. They go around to different mediums, game like gaming media sites, companies, publishers, and they're like, hey, they try to sell the vision of what game preservation is, and they ask, is there anything that you need help in so that we can help you preserve this stuff because it matters.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of how I want to go into this conversation with you, right? First, let's talk about what the U.S. Copyright kind of office kind of did here, and then we'll get into why the ramifications of this kind of affects us as gamers, right? So
Okay.
for the US Copyright Office, okay, I didn't even know what they do, to be honest with you. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before, but basically what they did was, right, they basically said no, and this is what I'm understanding. What they said no to is the important part here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I don't understand fully, and maybe you do, I'm hoping you do, what was the ask and why did they say no?
So, to my understanding, the ask was that they allow this organization to preserve and have space and funding to preserve content for, like, continue to keep up the content as it has been, right? Because they've been able to preserve content, as you say, from 91. They wanted to go even further than that, and obviously, because time has lapsed, not all the articles, not all the artifacts are still available and readily easily available. They're trying to ask the basically ask the powers that be to continue to allow them funding in order to keep content for future reference, right? So if there are new games that we want to be able to keep for preservation's sake, maybe some of those games require server access. Maybe some of those games requires specific kind of hardware that can facilitate them being able to be used or called back in the future. And of course, these guys saw the dollars and cents and went, nah, we're not doing that.
Hmm.
So now it may be a situation where basically it's more about getting people to donate, and hopefully that will change the equation. But how they were being funded is no longer how they are being funded.
Right. So tell me, I'm gonna go down a slippery slope here, okay?
Okay.
And keep me honest. How many of these major publishers, it's primarily one that starts with an N, uh, if you catch my drift,
Hey, be
we
careful, man. Them ninjas,
yeah,
they descend.
we need to remember that it is not in the advantage of these companies that we have game preservation. Why do I
Yep.
say that? And I think that's common sense to everybody on this podcast that's listening, and to you. They want to
Mm-hmm.
re-release a game and sell it to you. Why would they want you to have access to something forever that then
Yep.
they cannot sell once again to you? And that's
Yep.
all it comes down to, right? But I would
Absolutely.
I would hope, right, that they also understand that there is, like, as an industry, they should not shy away from celebrating their history. And the thing is that, again, that kind of encroaches on their monetary ideas, because, like, if they had a way to preserve, let's name a company like Capcom. If there
Mm-hmm.
was a way to preserve Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter vs. X-Men, they would not have, maybe released that $40 version that they just did with new netcode and all that stuff.
I mean, the argument there could be that they would then have to release not a better version, but a version that even if you have the original, you'd want to get in order to enhance your experience in some way,
Yeah,
right? Because obviously the original ones that came out and they were cheap, and they were local play only, right? And now we live in a new world where netcode is necessary and all that. So to me, it's more about them being confident in their offerings, right? they don't want to leave it to chance. They want to separate you from your dollars. So instead of giving you access to the original ones that you had and then enticing you to buy it again or buy a newer enhanced version, they just want to make sure you don't have access to it at all, so that when the time comes for them to sell it to you again, even if they fold it in, that's the only way you're getting it. So you might as well go and buy it, right?
And we get it.
This is the problem.
We get it, right? But then the thing is that since we like since we're gamers and we celebrate the medium and we're excited about the medium, that's why we have curated and we have our emulators and we've back up our media and we have our ROMs and we have our collections and we have our things, because we just love celebrating this stuff and we love having access, to as many games as possible.
I mean, my main reason for having the extensive collection that I have is that at any moment's notice, I will look into my hallway there, and there's a big area that my kids play, and there's a TV there, and at any moment's notice, I will see my 5-year-old son crushing the hell out of Mario 64, and that fills us old man's heart with so much joy, right?
Yeah.
So this is the thing. Like, I want to be able to preserve that for them for the future.
And in the video game industry, Kay, it's so interesting how it's so different and it's treated so different than the movie industry and books and comics and music, where you can go back and you can listen to a Metallica album or a Michael Jackson album and enjoy that music and get it through the proper channels where you're supposed to, because it's available, whatever the case may be. But you can't literally go anywhere and get TMNT Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo version, unless you buy that new collection that they brought out. But there's no way to replay that game once a year until they re-release this thing,
until they decide to find some new monetary way of charging you. Absolutely.
And and then you can go and you can watch one of your favorite movies of all time. Let's say you want to enjoy Terminator 2 Judgment Day, right? And
I watched that recently. Great movie.
One of the best of all time, right? You go back and you watch Arnold, take off his arm and it's bleeding. You remember? And Miles Dyson, remember? Pause. Pause on that, okay? But you know what I'm talking about with Miles, okay? When he's there and and then he don't.
Yeah, we heard you. Calm down. Jesus.
All right, so there's nothing weird going on behind the camera here. So
yeah, sure, yeah. Keep the camera off there, player.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I call it the Miles Dyson, okay?
Miles Dyson, yeah. You keep doing your Miles Dyson. Stop derailing the show.
All right, so then it's weird because video games doesn't have anything like that. Like, it's so weird that the only way that these companies have trained us. And Diddy's not here, MJ. Don't worry, this isn't a baby oil.
Y'all calm down.
All right, Diddy didn't come out with baby oil with Miles Dyson. Okay.
Somebody clip this man. I'm saying.
I'm just derailing the show. So the thing is, man, I'm not even hyper, and this is just a good day.
This is just you.
so then there's no way to do that in video games unless you get monetized, and you get monetized heavily. And the thing is that it's kind of dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that what I say? Stop. Isn't that what I say all the time, right? These guys, people think because we love this medium as much as we do, and because we see it so much for its creativity and that it's an artistic pursuit, we can't grok the fact that this is a business, right?
Yeah,
and it's such a business that people don't give a flying 747 about just throwing away somebody's real hard work, right? Like look at this, the quick example. What do you call it? Prince of Persia does wonderful. I mean, everyone loves it with their whole heart. I bet you'll hear about it being talked about during the Game of the Year time frame.
Such a good reimagining, right?
Exactly. And what did they get for their brilliant creativity? To the salt mines with you, right? Like that's how it is. And when they are able, they as in the powers that be that fund these initiatives, when they are able to find a way of getting more money out of you, monetizing you, they will do that, even to the detriment of the medium we love so much, right? Yeah. That's why I'm a big advocate for emulation, right? I just am. Every single console I own, once it becomes a legacy device, meaning when the next gen comes out or whatever,
And that
I
eShop
unlock it,
closes. Yep.
and the
Restore
eShop,
closes.
yeah. I unlock it and I make sure I have backups of all of my games. I make sure I can turn the box on. In certain cases, I make sure that it's no longer able to connect to the home server, which would then, turn it into a brick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love keeping these things alive. And unfortunately, because it's such a business and there's no one in the middle to be representing the user's interests, you have to figure it out for yourself,
They don't want you
which
to.
sucks.
They want you to throw away that box and start with a new one from scratch. That's what they want as a
Well,
business.
they want you to throw it away, and then 10 years later they want to throw some member berries at you and try to get you to buy it again.
Yeah. Because look, even though that Nintendo has done some pretty cool stuff with the with their backwards compatibility offers,
Sure,
that
sure.
they've added some elements to F-Zero and stuff like that. It's still very limiting when you go on there and you remember the history of the SNES and all the games there. You know that Batman Returns will never be there because of licensing mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that game will never be there. And then
Yep.
you're like, where are the games I remember? RoboCop versus Terminator. Where's where's, like I said, TMNT Turtles in Time? Where's Mortal Kombat 2?
Any Terminator, any TMNT game, they were the best. I mean, even
Yes.
the old NES TMNT was awesome.
Yes.
I played the hell out of that game.
And then,
with the cover where all of their eyes are red, and you're just like, are they all Raphael?
yeah, dude.
But
I
yes,
remember
it was
that.
awesome.
I remember that. And then the thing is, you'll never get, like, for example, Street Fighter in there, right? The Hyper Champion, or Hyper Fighting, I mean, or Tournament
Yeah.
Edition or Hyper Edition. Why? Because Capcom is not going to give that to
Yeah.
Nintendo, because they want to make a collection out of that.
They want to make a collection. They want to do a remake.
So-
There's business realities that will always trump your enjoyment.
And it's crazy because like Nintendo and their rich history, right? I personally would pay them probably as much as I pay for Game Pass if they give me just a catalog of NES all the way through Wii U or Wii emulation and option, even if it's their first party only. If they were just to give me something like that, streaming, whatever the case may be, people would want to pay for it, right? And it goes back to Gabe on something that he said. If you don't want people to pirate, or you don't want people to download stuff and things like that, you need to give them an offering where they want to pay for that offering, right?
Yeah.
But instead, what I'm seeing,
Make it friction free for them. Yep.
yes, but instead what I'm seeing, Kay, and this initiative is being led by the Big N, okay? By the Big N, and you know
The
who
big
we're talking
scary
about.
end.
Yes, all right? The Big N, and it ends with an O, okay?
Hey, by the way, speaking of the Big N, they're coming to Orlando, baby. I don't know. Maybe we want to meet in the middle. I don't know what
Oh,
if
dude.
you've seen that.
I'm going
They're
next
coming
year.
in 100%. I'll be there. I'm
Let's
meeting the
make
kids. We're
plans-
gonna be there.
Let's make plans for
Let's
next
make
year, okay?
plans.
Because I promised my daughter I would take her. All right,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
so
Mhm.
so what's this called? So the thing is that what's scary is that the Big N ends with an O is kind of leading the charge to make this harder than it needs to be. Why?
Absolutely. Yes.
Because of all the speculation that we're doing, because they want to control how you as the user interacts with that,
Yeah.
with their content, right? And I understand it. Like I said, I understand it from a business standpoint, but man, like, as gamers, we need to push back a little bit, in my opinion. Like, we need to say, hey, hold on a second. The same way that if I have my movie collection here and I can go back and I can watch my Terminator 2 VHS, if I have a VHS player, why are you keeping me out of my content now?
Yep. Well, even in that instance, they kind of don't like that you have a VHS player.
Right.
They love that you have a cloud library that they can pull a game out or a movie out whenever they want, right? They can go, well, the thing you paid for technically was a license now, and you've lost access to it, and now they can pull it back, and then 15 years later they'll go, there's the special Ultra Mega Edition for $30.
That
right?
licensing.
This is the world they want to live in.
That licensing mumbo jumbo talk is kind of so weird, right? And the thing is that we all understand it. I'm not saying that we don't understand it. What's frustrating about it is that let's say that you were one of the 25 people that really liked Concord. You absolutely love the game, right? you were looking forward to come home and play your
Yeah,
game.
the Indian plumber was amazing. Yes, let's continue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fat boy. So all of a sudden, right? Like the 20, listen, we're not going to offend anybody. There's like 25.
Sure, sure. Go
So
ahead, go ahead, go
so
ahead.
so literally imagine the
Hmm.
player sitting down and turning on his Steam library and being like, "All right, I'm going to get me some Concord. I can't wait to use these weird characters." And all of a sudden, it's not even in his library, Kay.
Well,
What
okay,
is
okay.
going
So,
on?
I would say to be fair, Concord's a bad example because when they turn those servers off, even if the binaries are in your library, it won't matter, right? Because it's server backed. So there's that. But there are many games, many games. Hey, say what you will, naysayers, about Redfall, but if you want to play that today, next week, next month, next year,
It's there.
in its single player form, it's still there.
Yeah, if you want to
They-
bop
they
it,
even
it's there.
they even added the ability to pause where you couldn't pause before because it was a live service game.
Oh, wait a minute.
And now you can pause.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You just reminded
We
me
have
of
some super
something.
chats. Mhm.
We'll get to them in a second. Kate, we are
Sure.
on October 28th, and you have not given your Redfall update. You said that you were going to play that for Halloween. You remember in one of our episodes? Don't open your eyes like that. Don't give me the deer in headlights look. You said you were
You're
going
gonna
to
make
play
me
that.
play that thing? Oh,
No,
damn
no,
it.
no,
All right.
no. This is what we're going to do.
Mhm.
I'm not going to let you suffer alone. I'm going to play with you. Okay?
Oh, you want to do multiplayer? Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome. Let's
I
do
haven't,
it. Let's
I
do it.
haven't
That'd be
grown
great.
up in like 10 years. So, so, so why don't we'll set something up for, why don't we do
Yeah.
something Halloween day?
Okay.
Let's do it
Okay.
the 31st.
Okay.
Live stream.
Okay. We'll do that. We'll do a live stream right on this channel. We'll do a host, and you can watch us play the worst game
Of all
in
time.
modern history.
Exactly.
Well, the worst game technically now is Concord, and we can't play that
Oh,
because
that's
the
true.
servers are offline.
Who-
Hey, but we see them doing some modifications in the background. It might become a cautionary tale that
Who
it
you
gets
got-
rehabilitated.
Who you got dibs?
knows?
I got dibs on the girl with the umbrella, with the elevator.
With the elevator.
Yeah, I got dibs on her.
I like in these kind of games. I tend to be a sniper, so I'll do the sniper. I'll be the sniper.
Okay, I'll be the girl with the elevator power. I'll be her.
Mhm.
All right. So,
All right,
hey,
yeah.
we're on Halloween. It's a trick or treat, all right. Okay.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
stop for playing that.
Well, how about now? If we're gonna do this
We need two more.
and it's Halloween, we need to
two
do
more
this.
victims.
No. Well, yeah, it'd be good to. I see you in the chat, MJ. Don't clown. Maybe you want to play. I see you too, Lucius.
Yeah, come on
maybe
down.
you want to play with us. We'll play some of these games. But I'm just saying, if it is Halloween, the requirement must be your camera must be on and you must be in costume.
Oh, okay. I'm down. I'm down. I'll see if I dress up as
There you go.
as a certain solid snake that I know. Okay. All right. Pause. All right. This episode's a little weird.
Lucius. Oh man,
Aw, come on, man. It'll be a trick or treat, man.
damn. Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
yeah. Okay. So to get back on the conversation, man.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I just feel like if everything is kind of working against anybody that wants any type of preservation, and I will tell you this though, to the defense of the majority, because I do feel that the minority is really cares about stuff like this, and the majority just want to play something new and move
Mhm.
on and not look back, right? Like, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the majority of people just want their new shiny PS5 to work and their Xbox to work or their PC, and they don't want anything to do with the old school stuff because they feel like it's old or whatever. Jim Ryan mentality. You know what I'm saying? And why is anybody gonna play old games?
Mhm.
So with that said, I kind of understand why this can be a challenge for what these passionate people are trying to do in this foundation. They're facing an uphill challenge, Kay. I don't know what it will take. Like, what will it take for this to be taken serious? Like, will it take government
You know?
intervention? Will it
You
take
know
the
what?
FTC? What is
I will
what's
tell
it gonna
you
take?
what it'll take. I will tell you what it takes. And it'll be very weird if that were to ever happen. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think I know what it'll take. It will take someone like us, like you, like me, who has a reverence for this genre, this medium, to be in a position of power, like in a congressional setting or something like that, to be able to talk to that, right? What we tend to see here in the States is like, some of these guys get called to the carpet, and they come there, and the questions they're asked is, why is it that I pick my nose, and now every ad I get is a nose picker? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, do you
is
want
my phone watching me?
Okay, do you want me to replace Ron DeSantis here in Florida for us? Because
Oh
I
my
can run
God.
if you want me to.
Oh
Okay,
my
I'll
God.
run.
Well, there's a piece of toast that's in my refrigerator right now that I'm sure I can get to run against Ron DeSantis, who might be more qualified. But that's neither here nor there.
I mean, I can
But
run. I can run, Kay. I'll make Cammy
you can
cosplay
run out the
official
door.
every single month. A Cammy
So
cosplay.
hold on. Because you said that, sir. Because you said that, I must pause. I must pause for a moment.
Or what are you
And why am I pausing? Because I have to read a super chat. Because the first super chat of the day references from Mr. MJ Dark, $5 super chat. He says, John, if Meta made a Cammy cosplay experience that is exclusive, would you buy a MetaQuest then?
You're damn
Also-
right I will. You're damn right. Day one.
Also, remember, God Jima. I have to. That's how I do that.
You mean the guy that got run out of town from
Best
Konami?
developer, right?
The dude that Konami said you're too expensive for us.
And then, of course, we have the great J Mac with a $2 super chat. He says, K Asante, the Black Tony Stark? Oh, no, man. Well,
come on, man. Show us that arc reactor in your chest. Come on.
no. Do you know why that initially, at first blush, turns, it just rubs me the wrong way? Because for a long time, people assumed that Elon Musk was Tony Stark, and now you're just like, oh, hell no.
Oh. Yeah.
But thank you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he's turned on a lot of people off. He says Xbox World Order is a real thing. I don't deny that. Now, I believe that it'll manifest in lots of different ways.
I love J-Mac. Not in consoles though, J-Mac, but I love you.
Hey man, Xbox has become a brand, not a console. It is what it is.
No, I mean, that's a fact.
That's what it is, But okay, so about this whole thing with preservation, right? My fear is that by the time we see where we're headed, right, we're already out of the plane and we already have no parachute.
Yeah.
And that's when we'll care, right? I've been a one-man band on this train for some time. I keep all of my old hardware alive. I unlock as much as I can. Why? Because like I said, I've wanted to, and I've just always had that tinkering spirit, even when I was a little kid. So that's just who I am, what I've done. But I've realized that it is beneficial for remembering where we came from in order to move forward, right? So, and the side effect of that is, if you, developer or vendor, want to entice me, you have to up the ante. And it seems like they don't want to do that. So as quickly as they sell you the thing, they want to find a way of taking it away from you so they can sell it to you again.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
quite unfortunate.
It's just that, again, like the movie industry has done this, like, Disney has used these techniques where they remember when they used to release a movie and then vault it out and say, oh, only available during a limited time.
Yeah,
remember,
absolutely.
with the Little Mermaid and the little funky cover with the weird stuff going on in those covers, if you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
That was kind of a little weird. That was kind of weird, but like they used to do stuff like that, tactics
from a different time, ladies and gentlemen. Different time.
they used to do tactics like that, and that actually got them a lot of sales because there was and I do know family members and then loved ones that when a movie would come out or a Blu-ray, they would be, we need to get this before it's off the shelf.
It's locked away. That's right. Yep.
And you can see kind of like the big N ending with an O. Okay, and I don't want to say their name flat out because apparently they're listening always.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, they literally, like, they tried this even.
They already have you on a list because you had your Nintendo Switch repaired.
Yeah, repaired. Exactly.
Repaired. Yeah.
Yeah. Repaired. Hey man, I'm preparing it for end of life cycle. I'm preparing
Uh-huh.
it,
Yeah.
giving it,
Yep.
a second breath of life. But
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The
like
question they'll ask you is how broken was it? What was broken?
exactly. So the thing is that when
Mm-hmm.
when I do see kind of like how hard they make it to like not I'm sorry when I see that they try things like selling, remember that the Mario collection that they sold for a limited time, they tried to do that whole
Uh,
gold thing.
sir, sir, not only do I remember, but I knew they would do stupid craven things like that. So I bought two copies. I
That's
have
right.
the digital version, which is in my Switch, which is fine. And then I have the physical version, which is right over there, still in its plastic, because I know one day somebody will be like, damn it, I lost that limited time
Yeah,
option. Then I'll go, there you go.
there you go.
This is what Nintendo does.
And if you ask me, you should send that copy to be graded so that it can be worth even more. So consider that in the future, right? But
Mm-hmm.
those techniques, look, they always work for gamers, like to get you
Yeah.
to bite. And
Yep.
the thing is that like I'm certified pay pig number one, okay, all the time. But dude, you kind of like gamers get taken advantage of a lot, especially console gamers. They
Mm-hmm.
are the kind of like the consumer in gaming. They're paying for online still in 2024, coming into 2025. They're paying more for cloud saves. Sony's charging them for cloud saves.
Yep.
Like the nickel and dime is real, folks. Like the
It
nickel
is.
and dime is real, and that's the thing that scares me. When are like the game preservation for these companies is we're going to resell you the game. That's their
Yeah.
form of game preservation.
Yep.
And I think it's BS.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And by the way, the Video Game History Foundation, their statement about this whole situation today, the U.S. Copyright Office announced that it would not support the needs of the libraries and archives to increase access to video game history, leaving over 87% of classic games legally inaccessible through any practical means.
You see?
While we are disappointed, the fight is not over. See the full statement here, and then they point you to the full statement. Like this is the reason why people have their own like bespoke little libraries with all their ROMs and stuff, because no one is protecting their interests, right? And I know it's difficult. I know it's dangerous when I say we need some kind of regulatory oversight. But as we move more and more into the digital realm, this becomes a problem, in my opinion, right? As we move closer and closer to that world where someone else holds the key to the library, we need someone to have oversight over your and my rights in that realm. Because right now we have no rights at all, like at all, right? We have no rights to the Steam games we own, right? But we've at least made that calculus in our head and gone, okay, yeah, it's Steam. Eventually they'll turn it off, but I won't be here on my mortal coil in order to care, right?
Hopefully.
I get that, right? I get that. But now they're removing methods that we used to use in order to archive, so that we really have no access. So that there are future generations that won't be able to play Mario Brothers 3.
Yep. And they'll
Which
never
is just so sad.
and well, they'll get to play it, but how Nintendo dictates you play it.
Sure.
You
Sure,
know?
it's kind of like remember the Star Wars variants that now you can't find the originals or Star Wars where certain modifications have been
Yeah.
made, or
Java's the
you
big
can't
dude.
find. That's right. You
Yeah.
can't find an ET version where the agents are holding guns versus flashlights, because they
Yeah.
switched
Yeah.
them to turn them to flashlights.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
We need a world where we can preserve what we originally loved and keep it where it is. Because as we're moving on, it's great that the Master Chief Collection exists,
Yeah.
but the OG version of Halo also needs to be able to stand and exist
Yeah.
and be respected.
I'll give you an example. There's a game launching, I think, this week, and me and MJ were talking about this.
Mhm.
It's the game. Oh man, Shadows of the Dam. I think it's called Shadows of the
Oh
Dam.
yeah, Shadows
Okay.
of the Damned. Yes, I remember it. I remember the cover.
Yes. So that's being re-released. For this new generation of consoles and PC. here's the thing, like that game, if anyone played that back in the 360 PS3 generation, that game was edgy, okay, and its
Mm,
sense of humor and its stuff like that. There's been things modified from the game already, even what he called his gun, okay, because they want to politically correct this world that we're in, and even
mm.
that seemed like if it was too on the too edgy even for them, right, to release nowadays. So if you
Really?
want,
That
yeah,
surprises me. I mean,
I'm
they
shocked.
re-released Lollipop Chainsaw in basically the same way it looked before, right?
I
Like,
have no idea
why
why.
would you change the name of the gun? That's weird.
No,
I
I
don't know.
well, if anybody's played it, you know that the gun was, it was literally
Oh
named
yeah,
Bone.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and
yeah.
now for
It's
whatever
called Bone.
reason that you can't
Yeah.
say that or something. I don't know.
Mm,
That's always been the same word to me. But the thing is that you like, well, for whatever reason they didn't want that to, they didn't allow it. So
mm,
if you want to play the game as it was in originally intended by the
hmm.
developer, you can either buy yourself a version for Xbox 360 or PS3 or emulate it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that
And
now,
you go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, even beyond them changing of the content, and a lot of people say, hey, there's always re-releases, which is fine. There are re-releases as well, but those re-releases don't tend to come with the original content. So, like for example, Crazy Taxi, right? If you are a person of a certain age, and I say, what is the first thing you remember about Crazy Taxi? You'll talk about, is it Offspring? No, not Offspring.
Well,
Is it
you're.
Offspring? I think
I think so.
the,
Yeah, it's Offspring.
yeah, it's
The
Offspring.
Offspring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the first thing that comes to your
gotta
head.
keep them
Offspring,
separated.
right?
Is that?
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah, there are many remasters and remakes of that game removed because licensing
It's
concerns,
not the same. It doesn't
right?
hit the
It
same.
loses the OG version of GTA 5. Oh
Yeah,
no, GTA 3,
3.
GTA 3, right? The original version has a sense of lighting and a sense of immersion that just for its time is like really speaks to the time that it was released, and it was awesome, right? You
Yeah,
can play it on the Xbox, you can play it on the PlayStation. If you play the re-release version, they are trash. Like they've lost access to the original source code,
yeah.
right? That's just the world we live in right
It
now.
loses that
And
essence.
it loses the essence of what made it special. So even beyond people going in and modifying things that you're unhappy with, just the bare fact that you can't play Forza because the licenses expire and now you can't have it anymore, right? We need to fight the good fight on that, in my
Yeah,
humble opinion, right? Like we're always going back and forth on what's best and how games are great moving forward, and I'm part of that gladly, that part of that conversation. But I do also think that when we look back and play some of these old school games that were before our time or were part of our upbringing, like that is also very special and needs to be allowed to live, not just the remakes that are controlled by the vendors and the remasters and things,
I
right?
agree. And if you remember when we first started like doing the show together, we had a
Mm-hmm.
segment called Backlog Brothers, where
We
we
did.
would pick an old school game and then we would play it that week and then we would come and we would talk about it. And I feel like we should be advocates for stuff like that. We should have a
Yeah.
dedicated show to picking a game out of a hat and saying we're going to play it this week. We're going to go on the show, we're going to talk about it, and that's maybe an idea that we can kind of throw around, for
Not bad. Yeah.
for later
Yeah.
on, for evergreen content, and just
Mm-hmm.
it's important so that, like me as a viewer, I would love to be able to go and listen to a podcast that's talking about old school games and then get
Mm-hmm.
me interested in those games to remember and be like, oh, this was great because of this and this, and look at it through like a new lens. And then
Yeah.
I feel like like a gamer can really appreciate going back to that content instead of seeing it and saying, oh man, like I can't go back and play that, like, because that's usually what people say when you tell them,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to go back and emulate some PS2 games? They're like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I can't go back to those controls or whatever the case may be. No, but there are
Mm-hmm.
so many gems that if you understand where that developer or that studio came from and then they release something nowadays, it helps you appreciate them more. It helps you
From a
appreciate all the time we've passed.
Yeah, absolutely. From a musical standpoint, it's like basically listening to your new favorite song and then finding where that original like riff came from, right? My kids are really big into like watching trolls these days and listening to all this music that whenever they sing it remind me of my childhood because they're all literally from my
Okay,
childhood,
okay.
right?
Hold on. For
Yes,
our
sir.
Halloween special, I just had
Mhm.
I just had an idea, sir. How about you
Okay.
dress like a troll and you put a little jewel in your stomach, like back in the day,
Oh, hell no.
like the little treasure trolls that used to have the
I'm not
jewel.
trying to break I'm not trying to break people's phones who are watching this from their phones.
You don't want to
People
come out
see that and they go,
shirtless.
ugh,
You
and
don't
they
want to
drop
come
it,
out shirtless
Yeah.
with the little jewel on your belly button.
Sure, sure. You first, sir. You first. At least get on cam. That'd be good enough for
Oh
me.
man! Oh, this episode's going to hell real fast.
Absolutely, absolutely. But
Sorry, man.
no, in general, I think it's an important conversation to have, right? And I know that some people don't see a place in it, or maybe they go, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's cool, but I never do that, and that's fine, right? Let me tell you where I personally, even though I have Xbox, PlayStation, all those things, I have old modified versions that I keep. The reason where I usually interface most with my old content is when I have a few minutes free on my phone.
Yep.
I for those who may not have seen it, cheap plug. I featured this quick telescopic controller. I've been looking for one that fits the S24 Ultra, perfectly, and this one seems to.
That looks pretty
Like
good.
it's literally what I do. Like I just click it in place and like in between a quick little thing, because not every time you're playing the big monster games, right? These days, of course, I have to admit, Call of Duty has its hooks around in me. Not the multiplayer. I'm still playing the single player first, but it's
I
got its
want
hooks
you to
in
try
me.
it out after.
And I will say,
just jump on a
and
few matches.
I will say the Oscar worthy performance by Troy Marshall, aka Everborn Saga, is
It looks just
chef's
like him.
kiss.
I mean,
Anyway,
he has found his master, his Captain Keys there. Okay.
it's fine. It's
As you would
fine.
say.
But no, I've been enjoying like just doing one of these, like just putting it on the screen, and here I am playing Mario Brothers, or I'm playing a Genesis game, or playing something to like. I keep this with me in the car when I'm with the kids and we're washing the car or something, and they need like some time to be satiated. Throw Mario Brothers 1 or throw Sonic 1 in the mix, and my son is playing it, and it plays amazingly
Can I give
well
you a recommendation
on
for
something
that?
like this.
Can I give
Yeah,
you a
please.
recommendation?
Yeah,
Why don't you throw X-Men and X-Men 2 up in there?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. I've been playing a bunch of fighting games, old school fighting games.
X-Men Legends, that is. Sorry.
These things like play like butter, and they're playing on your phone. And the reason why you have that ability and that option is because these sites and these archives and all of those exist to continue reminding you of those good old games you used to play when you were younger, right?
Yep.
And you can introduce them to younger audiences. It's not about piracy, right? I know a lot of people like have this perception in their minds that it's about, oh, they're pirating old content. Like MP3s, if there was a world where a Spotify like service existed, 100% we'd be all about it.
Oh yeah.
We would be all about it. But the problem is that service does not exist, and that service can never exist because financial interests always supersede the idea that this content be allowed for the
And
masses.
not only that, but because of licensing, K, and because some companies just aren't around anymore. So how are you going to go to those old school companies like Acclaim and try to get some of this stuff back? You can't.
Yeah, it's not possible. It's not possible, right? Yeah.
You would have to hunt down who owns the license now, who owns IP, and et cetera, et cetera. And sometimes you have situations where the owner of the IP doesn't have is not the owner of the publishing rights. So even if they wanted to, they can't do anything with it.
So on this show, we tend to always, while we're having these conversations, we also tend to drop in tips. And what I will say is, if you are as passionate about this, because I want to take a barometer of our audience, right? If you are as passionate about this as I am, right, trying to keep alive, and I'm not just talking about the 2D side scrollers from 1997 or 1980 something. I'm talking about being able to play your consoles long after they're gone, right? Being able to keep it around and use your 360 and use your PS2 and PS1 and or at least their games, right? If that really excites you or you have a passion for it like I do, let me know. Reach out to me, either put a comment in the chat, put a comment when this thing posts. You know, I want to gauge the community to see if it's worth sharing some of the details I have on that. Why? Because I would love to show you guys how I did this on the phone. Like, there are emulators galore that are available. I'd like to show you how I get my hands on what I get my hands on. Yes, there are some legally ambiguous aspects to it. I will say that, no doubt. But those legally ambiguous aspects to it are only legally ambiguous because you can't buy them anywhere, right? Like, usually I have like my original OG Switch, right? So I can dump my games. I've dumped all of my Xbox 360 and my Xbox One OG games, right? But some of these things you just can't get your hands on. And when that happens, there are other places to go. Advocate, like real quick. I won't even put it on screen because I don't want to get in trouble. But like in general, go to the Internet Archive. You've heard of it before. It's called the Internet Archive. There's a bunch of games on the Internet Archive.
Great resource.
That tends to be the only way you're gonna get to play Wolverine, the uncaged edition, right? Remember the great Wolverine game that Raven made? Right now, today, that is the only way you're gonna get your hands on that. And when you do, you can install that on your ROG Ally. You can install that on your Steam Deck. You can install that anywhere you play modern games, and it will run like butter on anything because that's a game of a previous ilk. And I'm telling you, it still holds up. But it's the only way you can play it. I would tell you to go to Steam. If you could buy it there, you can't. Right? I would tell you to go to any place to purchase it, have a copy of it. You cannot because of financial reality.
Transformers, the Cybertron
exactly.
collection
War for Cybertron, amazing.
It's not even available anywhere. So how else are you going to play those masterpieces? You can't.
Yeah.
So imagine telling a Transformers fan that has never played those games, hey, I would love for you to play these games, but you can't unless you hunt down a disc and one of these old systems and hope that it doesn't red ring on you. You know.
So I see the Wild Ones Gaming saying that the Internet Archive is down right now and it got hacked. Yes, they've been having some issues, but I can tell you that they're not all down because I'm actually looking at a source from the Internet Archive right now.
Me too.
They are not there. It's not impossible to find them. It just takes a little bit more legwork to find it now. I understand it's not easy. If you need more pointers, if you want to know where to find some of the stuff I'm looking at, holla at me in them DMs. I will be glad to assist you with that. But in general, like, if there's media out there or games out there, you want to play, Blades of Steel, call out Blades of Steel, which I used to play with my cousin like every day, you want to play the OG NBA Jam, Jordan versus Bird, you know what I mean?
And Conquer,
double
Renegade,
dribble,
from EA, remember
Command
that?
and Conquer, exactly. You want to play some of that old school stuff that you just have no basis, no ability to play. These are the things where I'm just like, the community needs to speak. Right?
Let me ask you
Emulation needs to lead.
Where can you go on your Xbox and play Mortal Kombat 4? Not possible.
Not possible, no.
Not possible anywhere because
And Mortal Kombat specifically is one of those things where they would kill with a collection from like OG all the way up till now. Imagine how many games that is.
Yeah.
Wow. The 3D, the 2D. Like, there's just so many parts. Street Fighter just came out and had Marvel vs. Capcom had this wonderful explosion of content where people just remember all this awesome old stuff.
Not on Xbox.
Street Fighter.
But it's coming.
But Mortal Kombat would benefit from that. And I guess us saying what we're saying right now will basically explains why you'll never be able to keep your old content, your old collection. Because probably WB or NetherRealm, I should say, knows that, so they're working most likely on providing a library like that at some point to charge you a new fee for it, right? So that may be why it'll be very difficult to get your hands on the old one. But if you bought it in the 90s or whenever you happen to buy it, you should rip that disc. You should rip that ROM. You should dump it. You should keep it on your hard drive because maybe on a future episode we'll get into the legal ramifications, but emulation at a top level, depending on where you live, check your local listings to be accurate. But in most places, emulation is a fundamental right and is not illegal.
Right.
It's acquiring illegal content that's illegal, obviously.
Exactly.
But emulation, just as a general taking your content and playing it elsewhere, is not illegal, and you should have the right to continue to do that.
Right.
They don't like it, but it's not illegal.
Listen,
So,
listen, as a parent, if you have younger children, okay, like you do, and I have a younger daughter, anybody in the chat listening, if you ever hear your kids say, "I don't want to play this game sucks," why don't you just bring out your emulator, okay, and let them play Sub-Zero Mythologies, all right, and then ask them, "You want to see a game that sucks?" All right, now imagine your mom taking you to Blockbuster, last $5 that she's gonna give you for until she gets paid again, and you rent Sub-Zero Mythologies, Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
Hey man,
and then you have to play that the whole weekend.
You need to stop saying that. I will
the
not let you slander Sub-Zero Mythologies. I loved Sub-Zero Mythologies.
That game, that is the original Dark Souls of video games, where you literally can get killed by the air. Okay, I played that for a whole weekend, and I thought my parents were punishing me. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Okay.
Hey, you chose it.
Hey, but you know what? Back then, when you didn't have a choice, you would find the fun in things.
You'd find the love in it. Yes, absolutely. You'd find the love in it because otherwise you just wasted your own money, and damn it, your parents ain't going to give you another one.
Hell no. Like my mom was like, Mom, I didn't like this game. Can we take it back? She's going to be like, if we take it back, we're not going to rent another one. And I'll be, no, you know what? I'll keep it. Don't worry about it. So yeah, man. Good conversation, Kay. I mean, I think we tackled this subject pretty. Look at this, folks. This is so bad. It's just giving me. I have PTSD from this. Hold on. Oh god, it's so bad. And then, dude, you would die like just randomly, right? You would just fall off the stage, and you're like, I jumped right, and no, like it's just poor timing. Oh god, it's so bad. So
hey, man. These games had to walk so that the new Mortal Kombat that you know and love could run. Okay, this is what happened, right? And without these games, those new games would not exist.
Which, by the way,
we needed to go through it.
By the way, if Ed Boon ever that right there to jump that was impossible back in the day. I'm surprised that this person got it on one try.
Yeah, I know, right?
I got to talk to our boy Ed Boon. Ed Boon, listen to me, Mr. Boon. Okay,
Mr. Boon. Yes,
Mr. Boon. Where is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks remastered or a remake? Where is the game, dude? This is one game that all Mortal Kombat fans unanimously have been asking for.
Sir, I play that game once a year. I have it on almost every single device I ever emulate. I have Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. It is awesome.
That's a must play. Awesome. You see, and if we do a retro show that we can invite a bunch of people, we need to play through that game one time because it is a masterpiece. If you interact with Mortal Kombat in any way, Shaolin Monks is a must play for that universe. All right, Kay. I think I've talked us to death here tonight. Kay, where other shows you're gonna be on for the rest of the week? We got a promise that we made on Halloween here. We'll plug it up again. Go ahead, sir. Where are you gonna be? What are you gonna be playing this week besides Redfall?
Besides Redfall, oh my God! You'll make me play Redfall. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna join you, man. I just want you to stay true to your word.
Oh no, I'll be there. I'll play Redfall. We'll play Redfall together. It'll be fun. So let's see. What games will I be playing? As I said, I now for now have the monkey that is the Mortal Kombat. See, you got me talking Mortal Kombat. I have the monkey that is the Call of Duty 6 campaign that is on my back right now. I have to see it through to its end. It's so far a really great game. I'm really enjoying it. There's been some weird bugs, and for those of you out there who are playing on PC, who are playing it in multiple places, be careful for that save bug. I see some save bugs like zipping people back to the beginning. It happened to me. Luckily though, it's saved on both my devices. So on my actual PC, I am able to continue to play it. So I'm continuing down that path. A few stealth missions that are kind of becoming a pain in my ass, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a fun game so far. I've really been enjoying it. Of course, I will be on Mr. Boomstick's channel on Wednesdays with that primetime gaming stuff, and of course on Saturdays, myself and Mr. Everborn Saga will be doing that GCP Gaming Circle podcast thing. Let me ask you, Mr. Wolf, what do we think here? I know that these days your timing has been a bit difficult, right? Because life happens and we're changing things. Are we gonna and this may be something that we can start the conversation here and then take it to the DMs? But how we feel about our time slot? Do you think we can still stick to this time slot? Do you want to do some moving and changing, some switching around?
It looks like due to work stuff, it looks like we will either be on a week on week off rotation, or we will be on a week regular time 1 week, push back time on another week. I gotta see. We gotta talk about it to see. Until we make things official, we'll keep you all informed.
Yep. Let us know how you feel about it in the chat when this thing posts. If there's a better time that you'd want us to have the show, if there's different format you want small bites
at noon.
At noon, yeah, I'm sure that'll work out well. I mean, I guess I could make that work because I'm in and out of the office from time to time, depending on the day. But
it's gonna be tough, man. Can you imagine your boss calling you, "Hey, I gotta talk to you real fast." Hold on, I'm doing a podcast. I'll call you back.
Anyway, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like I love doing this show with you, sir. If we have to move the times around a little bit to make it work, I'm game. Let's figure it out. But yeah, I hope more folks are getting the benefit of this show as well. But how about you, sir? Where can people keep up with your ongoings? What games will you be playing this week?
Yeah, so I have I'm gonna be definitely playing some Call of Duty. What I'm doing is that I have historically been I've historically tried the new Call of Duties that come out, and then I get hooked and I don't play anything else for a long time. I don't want to do that anymore, right? Because when Call of Duty Mobile came out, dude, I put down everything and I was hooked on that for like 2 months straight. And I was like, I'm like, Stellar Yams sitting there, Stellar Yams is looking at me like, "What you doing?"
Did you ever finish the Yams?
No.
You did. So you were capping for them yams.
I'm a fraud. 100%.
And then you didn't actually even partake of the yams.
100%. So now I'm to the point that I'm like, I should just wait for the PC version so I could play, the modded version.
The yams in the full fidelity that they deserve to be played. I understand.
So I don't want to fall for that. So what I've done is I've made myself a schedule. Since I'm a nerd like this, I'm going to be dedicating COD to 1 to 2 times per week. Okay.
Wow, that's big for you. That is a commitment, a sacrifice.
And the thing is, I'm gonna be doing that, and then I am focusing on the Yakuza franchise right now. I beat Yakuza 0 all the way through. I'm currently on Yakuza Kiwami, which is Yakuza 1. I'm enjoying that franchise a lot. We had recommendations from Lucius and from MJ Dark told me a long time ago, you will love this franchise, and I do. I get it now. Like, it clicked. Like, I understand why this is such a beloved franchise. And as you know, there's a new show that came out this week on Amazon. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it because I'm afraid that if I do, I'm afraid that it's going to spoil stuff in Kiwami. So that's why
and maybe this is a conversation we need to have later, or we need to talk to those who have a better take on it. I've never the original series, maybe because of the older versions of it, or the fact that the no subs in the old version, or no dubs, I should say, in the older version, something didn't click with me. But I people so love that franchise that I want to keep giving it a shot. And of course, I like gaming content is catnip for me in a TV show or movie context. I want to watch it, but I kind of feel like I might be doing it wrong by watching it first versus playing the game.
That's how I felt. So I just, since I don't want any story elements to be spoiled for me while I'm playing the game, like, I feel like if I'm to the point where when I finish Kiwami 1, which is about an 18 to 20 hour experience, or I'm already like 7 hours in, I have a feeling that now I have such a good fundamental understanding of these characters in this world that I can watch this season and finally be able to understand and appreciate Kiryu as a main character. Just this whole world, like, I understand it. Like, I understand what RGG has done with this franchise and why people that really like it, like, love this franchise, because you literally see not only the city growing as the time
Mm-hmm.
progresses, but these characters also as individuals grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like if you're watching like a life story of them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
And
sure,
and
sure,
you
sure. Yeah.
appreciate it more from that aspect. So like I said, I'm deep diving in that. And guys,
Mm-hmm.
you know where to hit me, John Wolf. We've been hanging out, guys, a lot on our Discord, daily chats in there. I try to jump in and while I'm working and just talk about random stuff. We have heated debates. We have good
Oh
conversation.
boy.
But
Oh boy, do we have
but
heated
we
debates.
have heated debates where where we get after each other, but it's all in good fun and for the love of the game. And at the end of the day, we love learning new things, guys. So if you feel like you can come into our Discord and add to our conversations and help us see things in a different light, we always welcome it. We're not saying we're going to agree with you, but we will give you your time to speak and spit your
Mm-hmm.
bars. And
Yeah,
that's about it,
absolutely.
Kay.
I appreciate it, sir. Yeah, me too, man. I think more people should make some time for us in the Discord. We're spending a lot more time there now. Blue Sky and Threads and all that are looming, but I feel like our Discord is a safe haven where we
Yeah.
can just go and talk that gaming talk, and it's always great to be in there. So yeah, more folks should definitely partake in that as well. Yep.
Yep. The wild punches are going all day in the Discord on the play. It's really good conversation, guys. If you like engaging conversations, kind of like after hours type, where we can let our hair down and be a little bit, more adultish, come in the Discord and you'll hear us drop a couple of F bombs.
There you go.
But yeah, all right, guys. So for Kay Asante, myself, thank you so much for joining us, guys, giving us time on a busy Monday that I'm sure you all got off of work and school and stuff. We appreciate it. Until next week or the week after, we'll have a great episode for you talking about some other gaming debates. And Mr. Asante, we have a date on Halloween to play the worst game out right now, Redfall.
I need to see that nice Cammy cosplay, sir. I need
Oh,
that Cammy from
okay.
you with Cam
Oh,
on
I got
Cammy
you.
cosplay.
I got
Let's
you. So
go.
0 viewers for sure, and then you're gonna be the treasure troll with the little jewel on your stomach, right? From the treasure trolls, or you want me to be
On that note,
Miles Dyson?
sir, you need to calm down with that Miles Dyson stuff, man. Yeah. All right. See y'all later.
Peace,
Peace.
guys.